Kaplan from Cruise & Co. I'm going to give a quick, 20 minutes, so I'm going to go quick. I'm going to give a fast look under the hood of what Cruise & Co. Roughly does with a client when we're implementing the growth method. And then the last tool at the end was really the teach and the give. And there's a whole series of these tools. The slide deck's got 75, 100 slides in it. You're probably only going to see about 15 of them today. But this whole slide deck is what we take a client through once we decided this is a good fit to work with you. And so I'm just going to kind of pound through it, save questions to the end, and then I'll, happy to go through any of those. So what we do, we're a management consulting firm that helps companies grow. We are a bunch of entrepreneurs who built businesses, used other methodologies, scaling up, EOS, also known as traction, 3HAG, action, and just about any other program out there. We've all used in our companies or read about, learned about, and taught others. We focus on three things. We want to grow your revenue, we want to grow your profitability, and we want to grow that long-term sellability all at the same time. There's a few foundational concepts. We know that every company grows in little increments, and every time we step from one stage to another stage, we go through this valley of death or this danger zone. It exists, and everyone must go through it. You've seen similar slides to this. These are slides based on our 250 clients and the journeys they've gone through. So the numbers may be a little bit different than that which is published in Scaling Up or just online or anywhere else out there. My typical client is a $2 million to $25 million organization. Our firm works with a little smaller and a whole lot bigger. I just like the little guy. A clear roadmap, which I'm going to show you our roadmap tool, and then a bunch of tools that we leave in place across all the organizations we work with over time. Can't just show up and give it to everyone at once. You can't just read a book and then go self-implement. You can, but these things take time. A typical journey with our client is about 2 years plus. And people keep us on a whole lot longer because they just like us running their meetings versus having to run their own. So here's our 4 categories. People performance, and I'll send everyone this slide deck if you want. Operational excellence, a focused strategy, and turning your business into the financial engine that it really needs to be. Numbers don't lie, and we're hardcore about driving revenue, profitability, and long-term sellability. So that financial engine component is super important to us. On the people side, we want right people in the right seats, doing the right things, and clarity on how they're supposed to grow as humans within our organizations from one position to the next. The outcomes on the operations side is that we've got clear vision across the whole organization. Everyone thinks they have a plan, and if I went and asked all their people on staff what the plan is, they're like, I don't know. Carl's got an idea, but it's not written anywhere. It's not in front of me. So we want to make sure that all of these outcomes are happening, and there's a variety of tools that we help make that possible. Strategy, clarity. Do we know where we're going? Do we know what win means? Do we and do we know kind of where we'll play, who our customer is? I hear it in these rooms a lot, like everyone is my client. Dan's a perfect example of this one. We had a conversation about the other day. Hey, Dan, who's your client? Anybody with a house, anyone with a car? And I'm like, really? Anyone?
I don't know if I said that, but that's the example.
I did say back to you, really? Anyone? And then
so got a car with no engine.
So the backbone of our approach, fundamentally clear on what your North Star is. Jim Collins calls that the big BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal. It's somewhere that we're probably never going to get to, but like if we're like discombobulated and don't know our ass from the hole in the ground or which way's up or left or right, and we look up and we see the North Star, we know where we're going. And strategy, our 6 W's, our 3-year objectives, annual objectives this year, quarterly, and then a weekly OTM, the on-track meeting. This is the backbone of our approach, working with all our clients to make sure that they've got this in place and everyone at the organization knows that this is in place and what's happening within it. So I'll show you what a little about that looks like. So here's the beginning of our growth roadmap. The foundation's that North Star. And then on top of that, we've got our 6 W's, which are who we are, our core values, our why we do what we do. That's our mission statement. What we do, our niche, who we help, our target market, why us, our value prop, and the ways that we earn money. It's awesome to ask so many entrepreneurs what they do, and they tell me all of these things they do, and so few of those things actually earn them revenue. We want them crystal clear on what are the ways that they earn revenue. So start with the North Star and then stack these. This is our strategy component for us. If you as a business or as a human working within a business were fundamentally clear on these 6 W's, I think that all of the distractions that we're oftentimes faced with would be a whole lot easier to move forward from. Take that and stack it along with the 3-year objectives. Start with what the future date is. Tell me what that revenue is at the end of that 3-year period. Old slide deck, yes, I know. And tell me what you're profitably, and then give me some other key measurables along the way. How many clients do you want to be working with? How many clients do you want? How many accountants do you want on staff? How much money under management do you want? How many clients do we want to be printing on a regular basis? Whatever it is, put those key measurables on the left. That's where we are going as a company in the next 3 years. And those are the numbers that will predict whether we were successful or not along the way. Then, from a people strategy, finance, marketing, and even operational side, tell me what that business looks like 3 years from now. Not the things I have to do to make it happen, but I'm standing in the future as if it already did. What does my company look like? So this is a tough document. We send all of our entrepreneurs or CEOs off for a day. Go out to the woods, sit in your hammock, go out on your boat, find some peace, take a pencil, take a pen, take a piece of paper, and close your eyes and visualize your company. And imagine it's 3 years from now, and we're hitting all the things we said we wanted to on the left. Now look around. What's the office environment look like? What do the people look like? What are the strategies that are in place? What are your operations that are in place? How much money do I have in the bank? Tell me what that company looks like and put it. These then become our 3-year objectives. Once we agree on, okay, those are the things that these are all finish lines, not how-tos.
Are you guys having a 10-year anniversary this year?
No. Are we?
It said under marketing, host revenue operations summit in 2020.
So random things taken from different company scorecards just to put up there as examples.
Okay, gotcha.
That's a good question. No, because we didn't start until 2018, I think, as a Cruising Co.
So you're 3 years out from your 10-year plan.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for that?
What's that?
Do you have a plan for that?
Yes,
3 years out? Celebrate?
We don't. That's not our agenda to celebrate.
Okay,
That was someone else. That was someone else's. So the tool that I wanted to share here, in traction or EOS, we hear about rocks, and in scaling up, we hear about priorities. And Google uses a methodology called OKRs, objectives with key results. Objective is kind of that main thing that I want to accomplish. It's not always quantifiable. Sometimes it's just a good feeling. But 80% of the time it's quantifiable. So an example would be, I want crystal clear communications within my organization. It's debatable whether crystal clear communications in an organization is quantifiable or not. Does that mean you have cell phones that work all the time? Maybe. Does that mean you have one channel of communication versus the 13 that most people probably use? Maybe. Does that mean that everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to know, what they're supposed to do from expectations? Maybe. Is there high levels of accountability? Maybe. Is there a regular conversation around scorecards? Maybe. Does everyone know what the objectives are in the company and we're talking about them on a regular basis? Maybe. Does everyone know how their actions affect the key objectives and drive the key results and are tied to all of the things that are in that roadmap? Maybe. So crystal clear communications could be relatively vague. And then the key results, I think I just gave you a whole shit ton of those, are possible ways of measuring what are the things we need to do. And the key here is I want to pick 3 to 5 things that if I do those things and get those things done, the objective will be met. Not to hit this objective, here's the 5 steps to getting those done. If I have to tell my leadership team how to do something, if I have to tell my leadership team how to do something, I have hired the wrong leadership team. I need to be able to, as a CEO of an organization, say, this is where I want to go. You can get me there better than anyone else. Go. And then trust. So this becomes the beginning of that of, these are the key results I'm looking for my team. Maybe if it's leadership, if it's management, or if it's front line, I would say, and I think I vent about this a lot, if we have key results that are leadership driven, management driven, frontline driven, and we have to tell those people how to do their jobs, we have the wrong people in place in every single one of those levels. So these OKRs need to be ambitious. I want to see people 80% of the time hitting their objectives and hitting their key results. I want to see some yellow, increase our company's visibility to our target customers. And we chose, I think we chose LinkedIn at the time, yeah. And so we decided, let's run 3 webinars for trade organizations. And then from that, we hope we'll add 50 new target customers to our email list, connect with 100 new targets across LinkedIn, and then share relevant content. Everyone at the team was supposed to share some relevant content on LinkedIn 2 times a week. And we thought if we did those shares, if we got those new customers and we ran those 3 webinars, that would increase our company's visibility to our target customers. Not super quantifiable, but definitely quantifiable. We did that, and thought, okay, people knew who we are a little bit more, and they did. We were more engaged. We had more people liking. We had more people sharing. We had more people reaching out to us, and our webinars became a little bit more crowded. So all ties back to that growth roadmap of I take that 3-year, and from the 3-year, I dial it down to a 1 year. What's it look like at the end of that year? What are the 3 things, the 4 things, the 1 thing, the 2 things that I need to get done this year as objectives? And what are the key results behind them? More importantly, who owns the objective and who owns all of the key results? Now it's starting to have some accountability and expectations across the organization. Sometimes we bring that over to the quarterly. Well, we definitely give the quarterly its own targets every 90 days for the next 90 days. Sometimes key results slide over from the left to the right. Sometimes they don't. Every once in a while, there's an objective on the quarterly that has nothing to do with anything on the left-hand side other than I got to clean some shit up before I can actually get to getting. While we're talking about scorecards, while we're running our meetings, while we're having conversations, we hear about things that are in our way from making this plan happen. And we keep these on a sheet called our challenge and opportunity side. So I've got some short-term stuff. This is all stuff that every 90 days in my weekly meetings I know I can handle. So I keep it on the right. And if I can't get it done this week, I bring it up next week. If I can't get it done next week, I bring it up again. If after a couple of weeks I'm like, hey, are we ever going to get this done? We're like, no, we don't have the bandwidth this quarter. Let's punt it to the long term. Then it gets talked about at the quarterly meeting or at the annual meeting. And sometimes stuff never gets taken care of. Sometimes we create objectives that solve it. Sometimes we realize, hey, we're Walmart and we have shitty customer service. And if we want to have low prices, we have to continue to have shitty customer service. That's just a suck we have to embrace. So sometimes challenges like just exist. The interest rate out there is higher than we like it to be. It's just a circumstance that exists. We can't fix it. What are we gonna do to create an opportunity around it? So I like these up here. I like these front facing because I don't like it when people continually come to the management or leadership and say, hey, this is what's wrong, this is broken, this is what's wrong, this is broken. It's an opportunity to say, yes, we know. We'll get to it. But we have a whole bunch of other really important stuff that we're working on right now. And we only can do so much in the 12 weeks between our quarterly sessions with the team that we have. So I think that's the short version. Yes, that's it. So we teach a weekly meeting. We don't teach a daily huddle, although Vern Harnish is a good friend of mine and he told me I need to start teaching a daily huddle to all my clients. So it's now in our slide deck. We're very happy about that. I don't think it made the book. Most of my clients don't do the strategy workshop. We just have a little quick conversation. We all do quarterly planning, full day with the leadership team, offsite if best, and 1 to 2 day annual planning sessions. I have monthly conversations with clients if needed. I have weekly conversations with clients if needed. I have monthly longer conversations with some clients or somebody on their team. Every client gets a little bit different version of coaching along the way. Typically, I'll work with somebody 3 days to, 3 days to build out what this whole program looks like. Day 1, we'll build their North Star, their 3-year, their roadmap, their OKRs, and their meeting rhythm. 45 days later or 30 days later, we'll come back and do Kickstart Day 2. We'll do a roadmap for them, which is kind of like our version of an org chart. We'll start on the 6 Ws. We'll build their 3-year version 2. We'll build their first version of that annual objectives, and then we'll take a poke at a scorecard. And then we'll come back 30 or 45 days later, depending on how fast they want to really build this whole roadmap out. And we'll review the OKRs we set in place. And we'll finalize the roadmap, the scorecard, the 6 Ws. We'll tighten up what 2026 is going to look like. And then we'll give some tools around Growth for All, how this cascades down to different levels in the organization. Build out new OKRs for them for the next 90 days forward, and then develop some finance, or show them what the finance tools look like. And then we go into I'll just come into your office every quarter for a full day, or offsite every full day and run it. So at the basic level, I'll give you the numbers, we're $7,000 a day. So the first 3 days is 21 grand. And then I just come here for 7 grand a day every quarter after that. Sometimes you talk to me, sometimes you don't really care. The more you talk to me, the better, the more likely you are to succeed with the plan. The more you schedule me for hours between that, the more likely teams are to stick around. That's not me selling, that's just me realizing people who I just come and set their plan with, unless they're really, really, really good at executing and been doing this for a long time, need some guidance along the way. And I'll say no to somebody who I think needs me, but only wants to hire me for every 90 days, because I don't need the bad rap. I do a good enough job with that all by myself. So that's what I'm looking for right now in Connecticut, from Boston to New York. But I would like to stay in Connecticut with 6 new clients before the end of the year that are $2 million to $25 million. All I want is an introduction to the CEO or the COO. If I sign them up for 1 day, if they pay 7 grand for 1 day, you get a check for $2,500. If they stay on for the whole year, you still only get a check for $2,500. If they stay with me for a long, long time, I'll take you golfing, I'll buy you dinners, I'll bring cool workshops to you. Ask Dan. So there you go. That's our referral. That's who we're looking for, and that's a teaser of what we do with them, just with our growth. We also offer fractional CFOs, fractional CMOs, fractional chief operating officers. There's executive coaching. There's a recruiting firm. There's an M&A firm that we're tied to, and there's just about anything that a small, medium business needs to succeed are all partners or owned by us within our organization, except for JP Morgan and except for our M&A firm. They won't let us buy them, I guess. They're too much fucking bigger than we are. That's my story. I'll stick to it.
Excellent.